We're rolling. Hey, what are we
Okay.
doing,
Oh
Angela?
my goodness. Welcome, everybody. We are here for the magic and wisdom of essential oils, and it is September 2025. Can you believe it? We are coming into the metal element. We are letting go. We are going to put this all together, and we have a beautiful guest today. One of my sweet friends from over the Coast Range in Portland, Oregon, Judith Maxey. Hey, let's do a round of applause for Judith today.
Leaning over the mountains.
Judith is an energy medicine practitioner from Portland, Oregon, and she integrates Reiki, shamanic techniques, and essential oils into her transformative work with individuals and groups. It is magic. And she is certified as a level one acuaromatherapist, and she adds this extraordinary modality to both her one-on-one sessions with clients and a variety of her plant speak offerings with essential oil users. And I'm excited to talk about that too. So she's teaching Reiki, she's teaching plant spirit meditation, and she leads a Reiki mentorship program for emerging healers. So I'm just saying, I love everything that Judith does. I know she's passionate about all of this. She guides people fully to step into their gifts with confidence, clarity, and heart. So, welcome, Judith.
Thank you. So good to see you.
Yes.
And hello, Tammy and Julie. Just saw you hop on. Good morning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Plant speaks.
Yeah, Plants Speak. That's a series of courses and now retreat. The plants just started speaking to me. That's where that came from.
And then you listened.
And then I listened, and that's the most important part, right? We all know that. Everyone I know in this group right here, we listen. It's so important to listen. Yeah, my entrance, actually, Angela, I was thinking, even before taking your wonderful class, how did I get into acuaromatherapy? And it was actually Tiffany Carroll. She did a talk years ago for the doTERRA community here in Portland. And I had been bringing in the essential oils to my energy medicine sessions. And literally, they began to speak to me, in that state of oneness. And they caught my attention. I'll just say that. They caught my attention. I would start smelling things that I didn't even know. I would intuitively bring an oil in, and then I would look it up and think, oh my gosh, if I were an aromatherapist, this is exactly what I would be drawn to use. And so I really did feel like they were speaking to me. And then, there's a whole long story about getting this message from the plant kingdom, get them to speak to us. And I said, okay, not really knowing what that was, but, I had a lovely time at home during the pandemic to immerse myself in course creation to create basically how to meditate with, to take journeys with, the plants with your
Mhm.
essential oils, because it's such an easy way. It's a wonderful avenue. I know we can connect with plants in so many ways, but for me, adding the aromatic is just beautiful. And then, so for my practice, you have that beautiful trio of Reiki getting you into that state of oneness so you can listen even more in that natural state. And then you have the plants themselves. Sometimes we'll do a journey. And then these points came along. It just blew my mind. So that was my first introduction, probably, I don't know, I think I did the Healing Oil Collective maybe 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I met Angela and took this training, and I can't get enough of this work. It's always part of my sessions now and my life. So
I
thank
know
you.
you like to spend a lot of time outdoors in nature. And, Joseph and I both like to spend time outdoors in nature. And so I went out to the garden this morning and I got the plant that we're going to be working with. It is Roman chamomile, and she's in different stages of the metal element right now. She's got
Really.
a couple blossoms, but we still have some really great foliage. Um, and she too was speaking to me this morning. She's like, "Oh, are you going to pick me? Do I get to go today? Do I get to be part of this?"
Yeah.
So I picked some so that she could be with part of the party today. But just pop in the chat if you talk to plants. Put a big yes, or type in your favorite plant that loves to talk to you and then you have conversations with.
Ooh.
Oh boy, here we go. Here we
I
go.
know. Oh, here comes Gabrielle. I'm gonna put what is speaking to me in my garden right now. Good morning, Gabrielle. We are popping into the chat a plant that you love to speak to out in nature.
Okay. Very
For
nice.
me in my garden, it's lemon verbena right now. She's ready to be harvested and distilled any moment. Ooh, yarrow, Joseph.
Wow.
Nice. And Judith, all plants.
I mean, I can't decide.
You know what? You do not limit yourself to one, but start with one.
Okay.
Of course, Gabriel, you're going to be
Yeah.
having rows. I knew it. I knew it.
I mean, the plants grow in communities, right? So they don't limit themselves to one.
Ah, motherwort. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm.
I can't decide.
Okay, so
Oh, I
Judith,
know.
Yes.
Roman chamomile just told me to tell you to smell Roman chamomile.
Okay, let's do it, Joseph. What are we going to do? What point? Tell us all about it.
I think there's a couple of them, but let's start with CV22.
Okay.
Perception vessel 22, Heaven's Chimney, right there at the base of the throat.
Yep. Yep.
Opens the lungs and facilitates the fifth chakra. So maybe the plant would speak through us.
Let's see what happens. This is Tiffany Carroll refers to this as the nourishing protector and the luminous provider. Doesn't that sound beautiful? So I'm going to do this. Roman chamomile. If you don't have Roman chamomile, you can still place your finger on this point and take some deep breaths and think about this openness, this portal that we want to open up, and imagine that it's calming and regulating your nervous system, your emotional body. It also helps us face our shadows. And as we come into metal element, we are kind of going inward and preparing to work in the shadow a little bit. Good morning, Cindy. We got Roman chamomile. Oh, Kanani's here. Yay. From Hawaii. I will say we have such a beautiful community here. So I'm sharing some gratitude through this, being able to speak this gratitude through my CV22, and just thank all of you for being here, for being present, for your willingness to step into this oneness with plant medicine.
While you're all in a quiet and inward receptive space, I'm going to add another point because I can.
Because you can.
Right? CV12 is named center of stomach or middle venter. And to locate it, you go to the center of your stomach. Bottom of your sternum, belly button, halfway, you're there. This is the area where mom is going to do a belly rub. Okay. And for me, the Roman chamomile kind of adds to that. So we've got now here and here.
And in Chinese medicine, the Roman chamomile has an affinity to the spleen, the stomach, the liver, and the gallbladder. So we're covering a lot of ground here with these points. It's going to harmonize the digestion. When our digestion is harmonized, it's easier for our nervous system to regulate. So strengthening and nourishing our center.
So as you continue in that space, as you have that listening. I'm gonna, Judith,
Mhm.
is the Roman chamomile speaking? And if so, could you articulate some of that?
Yeah, I was kind of deep in it there. Thank you. Yeah, what was really coming forth for me with these points with this beautiful plant, and it's something I think about a lot, is what's happening personally for me and being part of the collective. And so as I was placing this beautiful plant right here, and for me, I like to imagine with that point, that your celestial voice, that you're allowing that just such a beautiful imagery to allow that to come out, just asking this plant to gently move and give me the support and permission for my inner voice to come billowing out. And it was really clear to me that each person, as individuals and a collective, it's such an important point. So for me, I was seeing, getting this image of many chimneys, much energy moving, and just being so grateful. And then there's always a sense of nourishment from this plant. It has such a mothering feel to me. In fact, yeah, well, I'd love to hear other people share. So that sense of nourishment, nourishing my physical body, like you said, the stomach, the spleen, but also just nourishing emotions, nourishing what's happening in my emotional body. So I love these two together, and I'll thank you too. I know we talked a lot about what we wanted to do this today, and yeah, feel like this is divine timing for these 2 points. So thank you. Yeah.
I'm just going to go. And people chime in. Okay.
Yeah.
I love a conversation. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Conception vessel. What's being conceived? Well, we are, and the generations.
Yeah.
I won't go too far into this, but I'm on the 4th day of a 5-day journey called Cycles. So I've gone through my birth. I've gone through my childhood. Yesterday was adolescence. I had a really good day. Okay. Today is adulthood, and then tomorrow is the bones cycle.
Nice.
But conception brought me to, and your word brought me to mothering.
Mm-hmm.
And especially, Gabriel, you could probably speak to this too. For us guys, the idea of mothering oneself is a little foreign territory, at least culturally. Okay. But then we're also known for having that ability to care and to care for others. And there is something in mothering that has to be for conception, caring for oneself and caring for another.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just had this, just holding these 2 points. It felt like the way a mother holds a baby to her. And I felt like I was giving myself that type of embrace on a deeper level. Like I could hold myself, not just like a hug, but like hold myself within that conception vessel. And there was a different kind of nurturing. That was a new feeling. That was neat.
Mm-hmm.
It's so interesting. I mean, so if CV12 is 3rd chakra area and CV22 is 5th chakra area, the baby is in the 4th chakra area.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
May we all be there.
I also, and maybe this is an opening for folks to share their own experiences. Oftentimes I'm working with people and I'll invite them to see those centers. It's a little bit different than the TCM perspective, but just to see those important chakras, the throat chakra, the solar plexus. What are they? We are energy beings. And so they hold all the frequencies of everything we've experienced or been told or thought about our communication, about our inner voice. So I like to invite people to think of it like that too. We're inviting in through these portals this beautiful plant to help us come back to ourself. I think that's in general what we do with the plants.
Yeah.
to help us understand what's in there, what frequencies are in there, and how could we become more balanced? How could we clear that? I'm always asking the plants, help me clear, help me release, or show me, give me an image, support me. So maybe that will incite any of you on the call to share your own experiences. I know for working with these points, sometimes it's very physical, right? We talk a lot about the energetics, what's moving, or is it, obviously with Roman Chamomile, maybe there's some internal movement, digestion. It's a middle energetic, but that's only part of it, right? We could feel that, we could get emotions, we could get, oftentimes I get memories. So especially when we're working in those chakras, of course, we're going to have memories. We're going into our frequencies. We are made of these frequencies. So I also just want to say to everyone who's here, though, I'm looking around and I know that most of you do this often, but what is it that's coming up for us today? Is it an energetic in our body? Where do we feel it? Or what images came? What landed for your heart? What memories? What happened? So I would love to open it up to hear everyone else as we talk about
Gabriel, do you have something you want to share?
Well, I usually do. That's why I try and keep my mouth shut. But anyway.
No, we want to hear.
No,
Open that
but
portal.
by the way, I love when you spoke about celestial voice. I thought that was beautiful. I really did. And I went and grabbed my Roman chamomile, which is perfect for me at the moment as well. Thank you. But, smoothing the flow of chi when you've got so much to do, But what you said just now really reminded me of one of Daniel Penwell's main points about what oils give us. And I think you almost covered them, but really beautifully without exactly using his words, which were this trinity. And it even goes back, I remember when I studied with him in the late 80s in London, matter, energy, and information. Matter, that trinity. You covered that about the physical, and that goes into the sensory, the energetic. And then you were saying that what does it remind, the memory, the imagery? I'm thinking, information, So that kind of reminded me of his words. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I have to say, your book was so important to me as I stepped into essential oils. I love the way that you speak about the spirit of each plant. Yeah, that was a very important book for me on my journey. Thank you.
Similar, I mean, with Peter Holmes, I'm giving a free class tomorrow morning, and it's on the energetics of rose. And I thought, well, the first thing I better do is let's agree what we mean by energetics, or at least I can float what the meaning is. And I quote directly from Peter a couple of quotes because he nails it so perfect. And so I had the benefit of his reference from 1990, when I discovered the energetics of Western herbs, for example, But really, when I think of this connection, I think, as Joseph and I mentioned this, it even goes back to Michael Tierra in 1980, who brought in that connection. And sorry,
Planetary herbology.
yeah, planetary. Even though I've got an earlier one called The Way of Herbs, which is still in my previous name, which I changed in '84. But anyway, thank you.
Yeah, does anybody have Peter Holmes' new book, Channeling Fragrance? It's a beautiful book. Yeah. It was just released a couple months ago, Channeling Fragrance. I'll bring it, Gabriel, so you can take a peek at it when I come down.
Wow, I had no idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
I also want to add that for me, my own experiences and working with folks, I love learning the energetics. I love learning like absolutely the standard information, but I also find that the plants are so personal, so personal. So, in a group of 10 people, we all might say, oh, this Roman chamomile did this for me. Yes, that makes sense. But there might be the 10th person who says something completely different. It's a little bit like the citruses. Everyone, that's generally they're uplifting, but I've had experiences and known people that that energetic actually grounds them. So what I love about working with the plants is they're so personal. They meet you um, exactly where you're meant to be met. So yeah,
I want to do two things. Um, I'm getting ready to call on people who haven't spoken yet, because that's the teacher. Okay.
Giving you a warning, Joseph.
No, it's an enhanced volunteer opportunity right now.
Yeah.
And the other is like in classical Chinese, and the people that are looking at the language of Chinese medicine, people hate energetics. I just want to say that it's a perfectly good word. Um,
Yeah.
and the character Qi is about movement. So how does something move you? Um, a,
Yeah.
a lot of it is just the imagery of Chinese characters. They're not an alphabet. They're pictures to a degree. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a mountain, you have the rice growing below the mountain, and you have fog or a cloud lifting, evaporating off the mountain. Those are the three elements that make up Qi. Okay. All of them are movement. All of them are movement. Different scales, different time frames, but they're all moving. So the question becomes, how did the Roman chamomile move you? Okay. I'll just volunteer one. Because email me, I can talk. Putting it here, before we did CB12, I felt it go down. Okay. And then settle into my middle in a nice, nurturing way, a calming way, a settling way. Settling is really good then. And the movement, I mean, I'm doing this with Angela. We got you, Judith, and now we got Gabriel. We got all these people here. Wow, I'm kind of excited, and I'm talking kind of fast. And then I go there and
Yeah.
And that's a really good movement for me.
Yeah. And I'll bet that your body is familiar. You know, you have a relationship with this plant, with this aroma. Maybe even just having that smell in your presence gives you that nurturing feeling, even before you get to the points, like you're saying. Yeah.
But I'm a sucker for points. I'm going to get to the points.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to have one of you get to the point of
Yeah.
telling us.
Yeah. We've done a lot of talking. Who else? Tammy.
Tammy.
Go for it.
Yeah, it's funny because I was running a bit late and I had forgotten to bring it down. So I ran upstairs and got it and put it on a little bit after you all, but I instantly felt grounded in such a strong way that I almost find it hard for me to do it that strongly myself in meditation, but I still feel the pull of it pulling me right down into the earth. And I'm like, whoa, I actually had to sit here and shut my eyes and just ride it. I was like, wow, let's go. So I find that to be pretty incredible. And I'm thinking I'm definitely going to use it much more often when I do my practice at the beginning of that. So that's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Tammy. And I will add that Tammy is an amazing energy practitioner herself here in Portland.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I want to add a layer, an invitation. Hi, Kanani. I often ask and maybe we need to bring out our Roman chamomile again. If this was a person, who would it remind you of? What does this smell? Does someone come to mind? And maybe this is someone that you know, or a character. But if you were to give it a name, who does Roman chamomile remind you of? And I ask that in part because sometimes new people in my classes have a hard time expressing what exactly this is, or they're not really sure of the energetics. And so this is just another way to build our relationship, to have more of an understanding. We can talk about what are the descriptive words. Maybe we start with that, what does it smell like, but who would it be?
Yeah, a personality.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I just got Little House on the Prairie. She's running through this field of flowers. It was like there was just so much unbridled joy in that. That little character with her little braids. I don't even remember her name, but
Right. Oh, I love that idea of the prairie too. This
yeah.
is typically like that low growing hillside. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Anybody else? Let's smell it again and
Roxandra, what have you got today? She goes, "Oh, I knew she was going to call my name."
Yes, that's
Yes.
exactly what I thought.
tell us your experience.
To be honest, Roman chamomile is not
No.
one of my favorite. So I usually shy away from it. There's something about the scent that just doesn't agree with me.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the sweetness or what. Um,
Mhm.
However, today it was weird because it didn't bother me like usual. Um, and especially when I applied it here, it was kind of like a radiating heat, but comfortable, not like hot, just a little bit warmth radiating out from that area.
It
And
can
actually, I can
clear
still
heat.
feel that a little bit there.
Yeah, it can clear heat. Definitely.
So yeah, that was
Mm.
it's different today because usually, like I said, I'm staying away from it.
Mhm.
Well, and sometimes it's playing with dilution rates. I mean, maybe it's going to be more effective for you at even a 1% dilution.
Actually, I didn't have the dilution, so I took it pure today.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I can't smell it neat. It's
Yeah.
too much for me. I just had that experience with ylang also.
Yes.
Something I just do not like at all. I'm just, if someone had a drop anywhere, too much for me.
That is actually one that I absolutely love.
Yeah, isn't that funny? And so, but that dilution rate, what I tell people is, dilute it so much that you almost have to search for it. So you're inviting it in and then it just dances with you.
Yeah.
But I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hold it further away, Roxandra.
Exactly.
It's a dilution. That's a dilution.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you don't have a chance to go dilute it right now, that's our next safe bet.
And
Anybody else?
Roxandra is an amazing aromatherapist too. So,
Yeah.
Cindy, you're another aromatherapist in the house. What do you think? Oh,
Go ahead,
you're
unmute.
diluted. You're muted.
Very diluted voice.
Can you unmute?
There we go.
There we
There we
go. Hello, everyone. In stressful times, I feel more emotionally secure,
Hmm.
and I feel a sense of calming effect on my nervous system. I was actually making a roll-on for my daughter for her tummy, and then also applied it to a blend in an inhaler for her monthly cycle relief. So she really resonated with the oil herself, and it's been very active in my my acupoints. Found its presence is just drawing me in for good reasons.
So drawing you in is a directionality, is a movement, right?
Right.
I'm always playing with this because English doesn't have, I mean, I've been moved, but it doesn't, I haven't said what direction I've been moved. Okay.
Yeah.
Usually you assume that there's an emotional movement with that. Okay. Is it a passionate movement? Did I get stirred? What is the activity? Okay. And this one, I think you said it rather well. It's like, it's calming.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
Let's see. We got Tammy, Kanani.
Kanani.
Welcome.
Kanani's been playing with the acuaromatherapy deck with
Right on.
doctors who are studying to become doctors, or the interns. Yeah.
Bed or hospital service where it's chaotic and confusing. I don't know if you guys can hear me. But I've used Roman chamomile in a busy morning, and I think it brings for the team, it kind of generates a connection and then brings them back into themselves so they can focus. So we've actually been using points and then diffusing with Roman chamomile. For me, it kind of flows outward, almost feels like it flows outward into my aura, settles it, brings me back into myself, and then pushes me forward out into the universe to interact more. And I get an image of my youngest son who just emanates a Roman chamomile kind of chat. So it's interesting. I get all of that with Roman chamomile. I love it.
Yeah.
Aw.
Especially on CV22, I think of that, little brilliant flower with its petals radiating out and helping us speak our truth in the world. And that's the image I just got when you described
And I
that.
think that's my youngest son too.
Didn't he just have a birthday? Didn't he just turn?
He's my June baby. My
okay.
other one just had a birthday. Yeah.
Fun.
I'm going to think of Noah when. Yeah.
If the fifth chakra has an extension, it's the hands.
Oh yeah.
Moving into the world, expressing into the world. Here I am talking with my hands, expressing into the world.
Yeah.
Okay. I really love that piece, Kanani, of using it to bring myself in more of a place of service in my movements out. That's very powerful.
Yeah.
When I use Roman chamomile on CV22, I do it a lot in the work with women on their menopause journey, and so many times with nervous system dysregulation and always giving to others. By the time women get to this menopause state in their life, this chakra is so closed, and oftentimes maybe they've already got hypothyroidism, and there needs to be a reopening of this space, an allowing that allows energy to come up and express itself in a healthy way to be able to go into that next phase of their lives. And so I use this a lot. This, for me, it's connecting the head and the heart and being able to bring up what's important, to release what's no longer serving them, and to really shine in this time of their life. So being an antispasmodic, I think it helps to release tension within that throat chakra. So another way to use this oil and point combination.
I love that. Thank you, Angela. Thank you for bringing my awareness to using it on that point. Really, I hadn't before you mentioned it. And I keep coming back to that mothering, the nurturing. For me, this essential oil is so sweet and so mothering, but so powerful, kind of like the mother energy, so it doesn't get lost on me that these are, in this conception vessel points that we're using them in. But also, Kanani, when you were talking about, it gives you, it helps lift you to move out. Like everything you said, I thought, wow, that's mothering, holding and strengthening, and then giving you permission. Permission is something else that comes up a lot for me with this plant. Allowing you, nurturing you. And then Angela, like that sun element, I feel like in every drop of this oil, there's a bit of sun. I mean, obviously they're plants, so there's a bit of sun in all of them, but there's something really unique about that sun and nourishment. And I know the sun, depending on which culture you're looking at, the sun is often male, but I think of the sun as also having a very female nurturing. It nurtures us. It gives us food. So that particular nurturing to help move. And there's a strength in it too. It's not like powdery, soft. I'm going to, just, it doesn't only have that element of calming you. It's nourishing you so you can move out. So I love that. Thank you, Connie and Angela. Anybody else? Julie, I don't see you, but are you in a space where you can share if you have Roman chamomile?
Yeah, was sharing in the chat that it's not in a space where she can share, but she wants to be here to support you and what's happening here today. So
great.
Which is good.
That is an example of, if you will, nurturing from a distance quietly.
Right.
I mean, it is. Judith, you talked a little bit earlier, conception vessel, okay, and understanding it within the philosophy, the eco philosophy of Taoism, of classical Chinese medicine, of whatever, the planet, okay. The governing vessel and the conception vessel, if you look at a book and the numbers go up the front and up the back, they both go up, okay. The classical understanding of the central channel is up the back and down the front. Okay. So the numbers of the conception vessel are in the wrong direction in that conception. I use that word again, did I? Conception. Okay. So is it a misconception, or is it just that in daily life, most of mothers, all of you that are mothers out there, okay? Your mothering often goes to your head because you got so many things to do to make sure the kid doesn't get hurt. They get fed, they get off to school. You're often going this way with the outward with that energy. It's like coming up, and I got to go out and I got to do that and I got to do that. Okay. It's not really conducive in getting a child up and off to school to go and have your energy be calm. And they usually don't get up. So that is a more meditative arc up the back, down the front, right? It's actually the arc that those energies had when we were in utero and we were hanging out upside down with a bit of a curl, okay? The energy would come in through the umbilical cord, go to the back, and then go. And with something of a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Okay. People who do cranial love it when I do that one. They're going, oh, that's the way. It is, because that's the wave we came in on, right? And sometimes we use
drum beat.
Yeah, the heartbeat, drum beat. It's a world turner, okay? So one of the ways the women that I work with, when they're thinking about conception or when they're pregnant and they get into those moments when they're trying to connect with the child inside, that comes naturally. There's a quietude to it. There could certainly be worries like, will the pregnancy take? How long will this last? And how do I protect? All of those things can be going, those are going up to the head again. So when you get back to where the head, can drop into the heart and then into the gut, it's moving in the right direction again for that particular expression of the conception. And one more on the fifth chakra.
That's a lot to think about there, Joseph.
Yeah, I know. I'm an nerd. What can I say? Okay. So we have what is called early heaven energetics, and then we have later heaven. Okay. When we're born and we're outside, we're in later heaven. We got to figure out how to eat. Okay. We got to get energy. We take in, we use our senses. In early heaven, we're in a, heated jacuzzi. We're in an amniotic kind of flow state. We're a cosmic being, we're at the center of the seed. We're sprouting, right? So we are both of those. That energy of initiation, that energy of the original early heaven is in us throughout our life. When it ends, we end. Okay. And then when we come into the world, all right, the expression is later heaven or exterior heaven. It would be nice if we could make a little bit more heaven on earth, but maybe that's part of our job or part of our calling. Kanani, I'm reminded again of that movement into service is kind of like you come from that more, I'll just use the term amniotic or calm space. And then you move into the world, which is active and busy, bringing some of that forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful thing to be reminded of energetically
Yeah.
for all of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we could be rooted in that energy and then active with this and this and the other energies, wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's transcendent.
Right? Oh, yeah. You know, and something that's been coming up a lot in sessions is, and curiously, or not so curiously, with younger folks, like late 20s, early 30s, is a lot of emotional numbness. And I know that these points together in that nourishing spot, especially here around the solar plexus, I found that this point and this plant, this oil, can really almost like reset, give them that grounding. And I think, Joseph, you just helped me explain that and gave me more words to understand that. You know, for them to come back to themselves, what's been happening is there's often inner child work, and we'll go back while using these points, right? And it's something that has happened. But really, it's in that container of Reiki and the essential oils through these portals, it's allowing them to feel that again. And so I want to add that, you know, oftentimes I'll say it's adding back to your true self, but this even takes it a little bit more, you know, that we're moving into that even before you were born self. Yeah.
Yeah. Roman chamomile is very good in working with inner child and coming back to that inner child and supporting it. And
Right. And so where, you know, so again, I go back to that solar plexus. Sometimes I'm working strictly with the chakras and this comes in.
Yeah. Oftentimes if we're doing inner child work, I'll be working with Roman chamomile on CV22 and CV12, and then finish that with sweet orange on CV17. It just sort of like brings you back to that little sweetness within the you know, sea of tranquility or primordial child, you know, that kind of.
It feels like the cherry on the top with that.
Yeah, it does.
Orange on the top. Yeah. The question, who are we? I think of that when we're working with that solar plexus, your identity and your will. And again, this is just such a beautiful combination of point and plant to help us. I feel like Roman chamomile helps illuminate that for us. And maybe that's that sun element, but there's something about working with CB12 in particular, that these images of just like the sun's rays and an illumination of who you are. And so for these folks that have been coming in, sometimes I feel like we're moving off the layers of wounding or what you think or what you've been told, or these, you know, going into adulthood during the pandemic, all these things, and just allowing them that moment, that space to remember who they are. And what a beautiful point and plant to work with for that illumination.
The nourishing protector and the luminous provider.
Yeah.
And you got that little sun. That's the flower head. Okay. Yes. It is a little sun. I'm sorry. It just is. Okay.
It is, right?
If you have a kid draw a sun, they're going to do a circle and they're going to have rays on it. Okay. That's just, I mean, that proves it right there. Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know this. I'm going to defer to you all that have been around distilleries more than me, but is it true that typically Roman chamomile, the petals are laid out in the sun before they're distilled? Is that common or just occasionally?
Well,
I don't know. When we were in Egypt, it was sort of dried a little bit before it was put into the still.
Right.
I don't know.
Which I think is a little different than a lot of floral oils, right? That they're not laid out in the sun before.
No, I mean, most of the fragrance is here in the stems and the leaves.
Like jasmine, for jasmine tea, they usually try to have it shaded but still open to the airflow.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I took the students in England, we used to go up to Norfolk Essential Oils. He had a family aromatic farm, in Norfolk, and he had two big distillation units that he originally bought from chocolate making factory, actually. But
There's a really
amazing.
Wonka image.
yeah, it was semi-open, because it was like a kind of a big, barn open, not old barn, but more like modern warehouse barn. But on the left of the one side, no, on the right, on the one side of where the stills were, was a big area where they used to put all the plants, get before distilling. They grow about a dozen, but 3/4 of the farm was fit for food, but they had about a dozen, not lavender because it was too boggy there, but other parts of Norfolk, that's where the lavender came from. But usually you would see it like maybe just a few days. In England, of course, it would be covered because, it wouldn't be south of France, it might rain. So, but I remember I got a photo of me, not in the Roman, but in the German, like falling back in it, sort of a selfie thing of like, but jumping into it. But that's what it was like. They would be drying it. So I think you're right. I think drying seems to be common, but not too much, because then, you usually, as you said, I think, get a higher yield if you evaporate some of the water, which a lot of people are very surprised to hear, like herbalists, but you can explain that as long as it's not too long, the water will evaporate, but the glandular structures won't disrupt and evaporate all the essential oil, it seems. So,
Yeah. Yeah, there's just such a sun component.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that you showed it, Angela, because it's just like this little bright sun. Yeah. Let's see, has everyone shared their experiences? Yeah.
When you run your hands across the foliage, and it smells like these little sweet green apples. It's a really very pleasant smell.
That's
for
the name,
plant
right?
itself. Yeah.
Yeah. Earth apple or little apple in Spanish. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. And when I was researching Rowan chamomile, maybe you all know this already, but it often gets talked about as the plant's physician. There's, anecdotal, but so much that if a garden is failing or there's a plant that's not doing so well, if you plant Roman chamomile in there, then often it would do better. So what is that magical nurturing about?
Yeah.
Completely not scientific, but
mine is planted with my angelica. So the angelica comes up, the lovage comes up, and then it sort of shades the Roman chamomile a little bit more. So it stays greener longer. Yeah. So they're good companions.
That's in a part of a poem I wrote about chamomile, because I wrote, chamomile is dubbed the plant's physician. When planted by flora that wilt and fade, its curative force will come to their aid, and its radiance lift their condition. So
I love it.
That's perfect.
So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
But when you said, who does it remind you of? Well, it reminded me of a place I was living in England when I really needed it. So it was a place, but then I thought, who? I suppose Balder came to mind. Because he was this Lord of Light that was the chamomile was dedicated to, I think, being with all that solar energy. So a couple of the rest of it kind of goes, Balder's brow, his forehead, Balder was that, well, I'll read it. Anyway, Balder's brow was the flower's old Norse name after the noble Nordic Lord of Light. Balder, though brave, was tormented at night by ominous dreams that dimmed his bright flame. I think that's like the ethereal soul, He was really brave and inspired, but he had an unconscious thing of having to deal with these unconscious fears. And the rest of it goes, to comfort the brain, smell to chamomile, delight to hear melody and singing. So wrote Doedens, worried ones giving the earth apple oil to soothe and beguile. And then finally, Chamomile conveys resilience and light, shines tranquil rays in our soul's dark night. So it's kind of like he needed that hope to find his new resilience, you know. So I
Yes.
thought of Balder. So anyway.
Okay, so where is that poem? I need to send that to these clients I was just talking about. That's so perfect.
Well, it's I'll just I can paste it in the chat, you know, or something, or I'll send it to. Oh no, I'll send it out to
Okay.
Joseph to send.
You can paste it to the enthusiast group too. That'll
Yeah, the acuaromatherapy enthusiasts. Yeah.
I've got one with a JPEG with a photo next to it. So,
Oh,
but
cool.
this is
Yeah.
how I like to write because it is so personal. So I just end up trying to recount things in history, you know.
So this, you know, the magic and wisdom of essential oils.
That's right.
The lore, the mythopoetry, the poems. These are, we can't call them exactly a science, but they are humans feeling empirical experience and put into an art form. Okay. And then the wisdom is, what do we know about it? How can we use it? And again, the key, or a key idea here at least, is bringing them together in an embodiment, in an experience. And I mean, okay, we have all the time we need in the next 9 minutes.
Well, I know Judith has a couple of different programs, and I'm going to post in the chat how you can get in touch with her through her Almas Reiki or her Plant Speak courses, which is wonderful. So we can share that. I also wanted to make mention, though, Joseph and I are going to be hanging out with Gabriel in a couple of weeks down in Sebastopol, and I think there's still a couple of places left in that class, if I'm not mistaken, right, Gabriel? So
Yeah, we're having a live get together, and we've got a space that can take up to 8 people with only 4 couches. So it's going to be, I think, a lot of sharing and a lot of fun and a great friendly time. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Aromatic acupressure, meridian massage, and essential oils. Yeah. But I'm also
be sure and you're on the aromatherapy enthusiast group, right? So be sure and post that link in there so that people can check it out, and maybe you'll
okay. Thank you. Yeah.
More. And Judith, when are you going to start another program?
Well, I'd love to speak to that, but are there prerequisites to come? I can't make that, but I'd love to share it. Is there anything that people need to know or have, or any training to be able to come to that?
Well, I think that if I guess it's kind of advanced, but as long as people either have body work experience, I think and this could be an introduction to working with the oils. The people we have so far, I have to say, are pretty advanced because we've got Joseph and Angela, and then Amanda Wells is coming, she's a massage therapist, and Caroline. But I mean, I'm sure if we had a beginner, we've got enough teachers there, we could quickly up.
That would be
absolutely
beginner's bonanza. Right?
Yeah, it would be a beginner's bonanza.
That's great.
People, I'm just going to use that number. It's the infinity sign, and it's a small group.
Yeah.
And when Gabriel said couches, I believe he meant massage tables.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry. I get my lingo right for America.
That's great.
I just wanted to translate a little bit there, right?
Yeah. I brought 12 with me from England, so I've got plenty.
That's beautiful.
Wonderful.
Let's see what's coming up.
Judith, where are you based, though? I'm going to read more about your program, but where are you in California? I'm sorry, I don't know.
No, I grew up in California, in Northern
California,
but no, I'm here in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, okay, not that far then.
Yeah,
it's over the hill from me.
And do you do live workshops too?
There.
Well, most of my work with acuaromatherapy is either here with a client or on online courses. And so a couple of things that I have coming up, this will be the 2nd year that I've done Sitting with the Sacred Ones, which is meeting 3 times. You can go to my website and find it. And we work with frankincense, myrrh, and sandalwood. It's later in the year as we move into those sacred times. And we take a journey to the plant spirit and work with acuaromatherapy points. So it's a really beautiful way to be with the oils. So that's coming up. And, one of the reasons that I learned so much more about Roman chamomile, again, I was saying, I used to just bring it in as a little touch of sweetness. I didn't really work with it with the points until I started doing the research and creating my program, Flowering Wisdom. Kanani was in it. We work with 6 oils and again, kind of deep dive into them and take journeys. There's some exercises. How could you be with this plant? So you learn a little bit about each of the oils. We connect with the plant spirit. There's kind of a standard meditation that takes you to your inner garden to meet it. And then we do acuaromatherapy points, again, just like a trio of beauty. And that'll be again next year. So those 2 things are on my website. But one of the things that I'm really excited about, for if there are any doTERRA folks out there, is I'll be teaching an in-person retreat on the Sandalwood Reserve. They have an eco lodge and it's in Hawaii, close to Kanani. We've actually been there, both of us. And that will be the Plant Speak curriculum, very generally, how with your oils, how to build relationships with your oils via meditating, journeying to the spirit of the plants. I find it's, again, I'm preaching to the choir, to the folks on this call, but it's a way to find and access the wisdom of the plants in maybe a new way for certain people, and also for your own wisdom to flourish as you work with the plants in this way. And so it's a meditative skill with the oils. And so that's a doTERRA event because it's on doTERRA's property. But I'm super excited. We'll be sitting with sandalwood trees, ancient ones and new babies in the nursery. And this, that'll be beautiful. It's partly online learning the curriculum, getting some basics. It's really formed by my shamanic journeying, but for anyone. So it's my belief that anyone can take a journey and meditate to the spirit of a plant. That is just our birthright. That's what we naturally do. It's my pleasure, my joy in the world to help people remember that we can connect to the plants. And I'll give Pam Montgomery a shout out. If maybe you're familiar with her work, she does plant spirit healing. Her book also was very important to me. It's called Plant Spirit Healing. She has a new book that you might be interested in, and that's co-creating with the plants. And she really considers the plants our elders. So for those of us here in this country, we don't have elders. We don't have that structure in our world anymore. So Pam has been such an advocate of turning to the plants and their wisdom and building relationships as if they were our elders. So,
nice.
That also informs my work a bit too. So yeah, I have those 3 things coming up. And if you're in Portland, I'd love to do an in-person session, a plant healing session. But yep, sitting with the sacred ones and Flowering Wisdom will come back around at the beginning of next year. So yeah, I'd love to have anybody on that call.
All right. Well, this has been a beautiful hour together, and such a pleasure to have Judith with us. And Joseph, do you have some closing thoughts?
Well, first the promo. You and I are going to be at the Naha convention next month. Okay? And our next Magic and Wisdom will actually come from there, live from Temple, Florida.
We're going to do some lives. I think we're gonna have a Magic and Wisdom before the conference, though. But we'll do some fun things leading up to the conference. Jenny King, who is another colleague of ours, who lives in Tampa, and she's a aromatherapist and acupuncturist, and we've got a trade show booth that Joseph and Jenny and I are gonna man, and she's got a card deck, I've got a card deck, we got t-shirts, we got all kinds of fun stuff happening.
Do you have tank tops? I want a tank top. Anyway, we have all
both for bringing this to the world.
Thank you.
We have all the time we need in the next 1 minute.
All right. Well, thank you for being
Last thoughts about Roman chamomile.
Yeah, any last
One
thought?
word, just
How's this?
Yeah, one word into the chat. What?
I have one movement.
one
Oh,
movement,
you
one
do.
word, one image.
Okay, I'm going to put a drop of Roman chamomile in my hand before I get some energy going. Oh, we had to send this all the way to Hawaii today.
Hey,
Okay, what's
we're now all part of the movement.
sweetness? Powerful sweetness. It has to be 2 words for me.
Yes. Oh, put our little flower up here. Little
Anybody
Roman
else?
chamomile.
I just want you to all note in the center of your palm the energy that is thrumming there.
Look at that little Roman chamomile buzz.
Judith, when I'm teaching people about distance healing, I go, Reiki proved it to me. Zoom proved it to me. Because when I do this through Zoom, I can feel it through Zoom.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you.
Many blessings. We'll see you next month on
Right.
October
Share
11th.
power,
Beautiful
power.
day.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.